Alright, so we got the bikes loaded up, all the Jeeps are loaded up, and we're ready to go. This is exciting because it's not only going to be our first ride off-road on an actual trail and camping with the bikes, but it's also going to be our first time with both Jeeps in a convoy off-road. So it's going to be really cool. Going to do a lot of learning. It was just raining like crazy yesterday, so it'll probably be still pretty muddy. It's a gorgeous day. It's going to be excellent for riding. It's going to be epic. So we finally just got here to a town called Pony. It's like a mini cool little town. It's got some really old buildings. It's really nice. But this is where we're gonna be offloading our bikes. We're finally gonna do our first trail in full gear and everything. It's so excited. It's gonna be awesome. Just gonna get geared up and then hit the road. That was a lot of fun. That was quite the first hill. This is our first time going off-road in all of our equipment and on our bikes. And man, they're very capable vehicles. I had no trouble getting up here, and it's amazing to see what they can do. And yeah, that's a lot of fun. I can't wait for training for things like hill starts. I think that's where you ran into a bit of a problem there, was being on a hill and backing up. So the training is not tomorrow, but the next day. So this is a good way for us to get used to our bikes, more comfortable off-road, and then that training will give us all the skills we need to be able to ride really well.
So what's up ahead?
There's a little lake and a couple camp spots up ahead. So the road's not, there's one more rocky uphill and then it's just downhill from there.
Nice. Is that trailer gonna be okay?
I think so.
Yeah. I left you guys the radio for now, and just go ahead and then radio and tell us what's up there. Want some Gatorade?
After making it to camp, Peter and I decided to head back down the trail and go for one last ride of the day. While out there, I ran short on fuel and returned to camp. Once my bike was refueled, I noticed that Peter was still gone, so I hopped on my bike to go look for him. While riding down the road, I was stopped by a truck that told me where Peter was and that Peter had crashed farther down the trail.
What happened to it? Look, I was riding right behind you. Shut the thing off. I was riding right behind you. I hit that, oh. It's the dumbest situation on earth. I hit that stupid side thing, smashed full bore into this. It broke my engine case. I just went flying off of it. I don't think I blacked out for a second. I was thinking I'm gonna need stitches for my face, but other than that, I'm fine.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm just in a lot of pain now, but don't mention it. I just need like Advil or my painkillers, which are there. Or no.
Everyone said you'd have your first tumble very soon, and it looks like one of the boys went down. A kind guy in a truck stopped to let us know, so we're gonna go make sure he's all right. Is he okay?
I'll show you.
So stupid.
Let me see.
What on earth?
Is it all on this
It's
cheek?
just that cheek. I just cut myself, but my bike is the only thing I'm concerned about.
I'm not worried about
I
your
broke the
bike.
engine case.
Did you break anything? The engine case?
The engine
Just
case.
like-
I only hit my side because I outran my skill like an idiot because I was riding like
Okay,
a dirt
you guys
bike.
shouldn't be separate.
I know. But he ran out of gas. So we were together. I was right behind him. I hit that thing and it just slid, and I hit the brakes and I hit directly on that. And thankfully we had those handguards because it protected everything. And I just bounced off. I was fine, and thank goodness we had the helmet and everything. But
Oh yeah.
all
So
this armor
much
fully protected me, and I'm very happy.
Could have been so much worse.
I know, but
Just feel your jaw. Yeah. Wipe your blood there. I'm just gonna feel your shoulder blades. Does that hurt? Anything in your spine?
no, it's all good.
You might want to take this coat off, eh?
Yeah,
Be nice and warm. This shoulder.
it's totally good.
Yeah?
Yep.
Lesson learned. I'm thankful they learned this lesson on day one and nobody really got hurt. I mean, he's got a good bruise on his eye, and hopefully it's nothing more than that on his cheekbone and a cut. But hey, the helmets and all the safety gear that they just bought a few days ago saved him from a lot more serious injury, and he's learned his lesson. He learned his lesson on day one, so all we can hope for is that they're going to be much more careful going forward. His blood. He took a good hit right there on a rock. I mean, it could have been so much worse. This could have been a very, very, very serious accident. So, first of all, we're very thankful it wasn't worse, and that Pete's still in good shape. But what a thing to have happen on day one. It's unbelievable. So he broke, looks like the bike hit that rock right there and smashed the engine casing. So all the oil leaked out. That can be repaired, hopefully. Well, I'm sure it can. It's a couple $100 to replace that casing, but crazy. It's just such a good lesson. Yeah, grab that part. Let's see if we can load this. It's gonna be hard.
Alright, well, I guess all this is just a good lesson in not being overconfident. I said earlier on video even that I just switched my brain to be like as if I was on a mountain bike, which I've ridden, I mean, we've ridden a lot on since we were kids, so I know exactly how to ride it and everything. But then I was doing that on a bike that I'm, you know, brand new to, and that was my mistake. I did a lot of things wrong. It's just riding too fast and just being overconfident. That's not even what I want to do. That's not why we got the bikes. It's not to be dirt bikes. It's to travel. It's just another mode of travel like the Jeeps and everything else. And you don't drive Jeeps at, you know, I was probably going 30 miles an hour. You don't drive Jeeps at 30 or 40 miles an hour on a trail with puddles and turns and rocks and things. And that's what I was doing, so. Thankfully, it's just a cut on my cheek and a bruise. You know, all this gear is definitely worth it. It's worth protecting yourself, because that could have been a lot worse. So yeah, just thankful that that's all it is. But yeah, I ran out of talent.
Because when I heard you all like, yeah, it's just like a mountain bike, I was like, no, it's not.
I know. I told that to the camera already.
Walk it.
I just, like I didn't hear a thing. I didn't hear a thing.
When I was in the air, I saw you driving away.
That's why we need those mics. You could have just been like,
I didn't make a noise when I crashed on those.
I know, but you could have said something. Yeah.
On the ground. We were literally this far apart, staggered. Dan was ahead of me and it was there. And then I just went,
saw your track.
Bam, and hit the thing. But like as I hit, it just went, and I flew off and landed on, like, I went bam, down on something, either the rock or my handlebar, and then just bounced off until it was on the ground. And then I was just sitting there for a minute. I landed on my knees. I think that's why.
All chill, I was riding all happy, and then just I come back up the hill. Pete, think about how scary this was for me. Obviously, you were the one that got hurt. But I'm like, okay, Peter's been gone for a while. Just filled up my bike after running out of gas. Came riding up the hill, and then this truck just starts waving at me, and I just, like, it looked like he was telling me to wait so they could pass. And then he just comes, he's like, are you looking for your buddy? I was like, oh yeah. And then he was like, he's down the hill, he's all bloodied up, you should probably get a truck to go pick him up. And then he's like, sorry man, and then just drove past. And I was like, what? Because all bloodied up. I thought he was like destroyed, so I went ripping down there, and then obviously it was what it was.
We were just setting up for getting the fire going for dinner. All right, that's on. And we see a truck turn in, we're like, oh, maybe he didn't see us because we had the camp spot. And then he pulls up and goes, you're with the guy with the KTM? He's bleeding out of his face. I was like, oh, that sounds horrible. And the bike won't be driving out of here, so he said, take your trailer, but I just jumped in the Jeep and went. I wanted to get you out of there first. We still got to move. Okay, we made it to the hospital here. We're just gonna go into Emerge and get some stitches going and just make sure everything's okay in there. It's a fair bit of pain. Pete never complains about pain, but I can tell it hurts. Let's go, buddy. We're just super thankful it wasn't worse.
Yeah, for sure.
You've set, like actually set into, so it's more basically like pushed in.
Good thing is obviously I'm not hurting any other way except for my eye laceration and stuff, so I'm not damaged, which is great. But we just did a CAT scan, and they discovered that my eye socket bone was fractured and depressed slightly, so like kind of broken in, and then there's another fracture somewhere on there, like my cheekbone or something, besides the cut. But if my eye socket bone was fractured or anything else, just fractured, that'd be fine. They would just give you antibiotics and you could heal up fine. But they're concerned now that since it's depressed in an area that it might have to get surgery done to it to fix it, other stuff. It's just hoping that it's not
Requiring surgery,
and all that
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
That's a pain.
Yeah.
We'll hope for the best.
Alright, well, we got some good news. First of all, they stitched it up, but the doctor who was looking at my CT scan said that the depression wasn't anything to worry about and that it would heal itself. It's not going to cause any difference in my face or anything, so that's all good. It's going to heal up, no surgery needed, nothing. Still just like this weird sensation from that nerve that got damaged, but
You're gonna be sore tomorrow, bro.
yeah, I can already feel it. Tired and sore.
Well, super happy that that worked out.
Yeah, really, now then, basically all it is a cut to me, because all the other stuff, a fracture and that little depression, just heals itself. There's nothing you can do for it, so it just
It'll
heals
go
up
away.
all nice. Yep.
You gotta wear those stitches. What, you got 7 stitches there?
Yeah.
That looks pretty.
Yeah. So in 5, 6, or 7 days, I think I can take them out.
Well, super thankful for your protective gear, I'll tell you what. That
Definitely.
stuff saved your life, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's very nice. Yeah, so next morning, everything's still good. All the stitches are still in place.
Do you have a good sleep?
Yeah. Yeah. Everything feels fine. Pretty sore everywhere just because of the whiplash, I guess, of bouncing off my bike. And then, yeah, everything else is okay. Took the bike in and they said hopefully they can have it out by next Thursday, which isn't too bad. Hopefully it was just cracked that casing open, leaked oil, and they can just put a new case on, fill it back up, and test it, and it'll work. That's what I hope.
See that wicked scar you got going on there? Nice.
Yeah, they said it was in an awkward spot for it to heal. Like, it doesn't follow your wrinkle lines or anything, so it'll be noticeable more. I'm not concerned with that. And then, yeah, the lady that did it, the doctor, was also almost completely trained as a
Plastic
surgeon.
Yeah, she's really good at facial
Specialized in
ones.
like fine suturing and everything. So I was pretty happy.
Good.
Yeah. Alright, so first off, I'd just like to say that I'm glad that I can do this video. I'm not in some kind of worse condition. I didn't break any bones besides my cheekbone or my eye socket. I did break and depress a little bit, but besides a few stitches and stuff, I'm good and I can talk and function completely normal. And we'll be back to riding our bikes next week, hopefully. Mine will be repaired by then. But I did learn a lot from that whole accident, and I'd want to share 3 things kind of that I really did learn. And I think the most important thing is to not outride your skill level, not get overconfident and ride. You'll see in the video that I started talking about how well these bikes performed off-road, and it felt really, really good. I mean, I felt like I went from 0 to 60 in my confidence and skill on the bike just on that one trail, and that led to overconfidence in my riding. So that's how I got into that accident, is just not completely respecting the bike and understanding exactly what I'm doing and the danger of it. I said even on video, I think, that it felt like I was riding my mountain bike, or at least I put my brain into like how I would ride my mountain bike, but I've had way, you know, hundreds more hours on my mountain bike than I have on any motorized bike. So it was a bad thing for me to do right away, but that's what I did and talked about. I was just super excited and happy because this is something I've dreamed of doing for years. So I was just really happy that it clicked so quickly. But it's obviously, I mean, these bikes are 320 pounds dry, so without gas or without equipment. And we're going to be putting tons of equipment on them, so they're much bigger than like a 10 or 12 pound bike. So it's very important to ride at your skill level and not overdo it. Secondly, but definitely not second in importance, is wearing all the gear. When we got our bikes, we understood that we were going to be spending almost as much on our gear as we did on the bikes, and we very nearly did. And that was with intention, of course. We bought the best gear we could possibly get because we knew that when you're riding, the potential of a crash most of the time is very unlikely, but it does happen. And when you have extremely good gear, you protect yourself from further injury. So it really did. All this happened wearing a full face helmet. And when I crashed, I hit my handlebars, and obviously that did everything it did to my face. But thankfully I had a really good helmet on. It hit right on the lens. If that was a cheaper lens and not as impact resistant as these ones are, it could have shattered and done other things to my face. Like that could have cut up my face. Or if I was wearing we were considering getting dirt helmets. I'm sure that still would have held up really well, of course. That may have just hit right on my goggle, which could have done way more to my face. Because I was less removed from the impact. If I was with dirt, it would have hit right on the goggle rather than on a lens a few inches in front of my face. And then of course I was wearing full suit of armor, and our jackets and everything, so my knee hit the rock or my bike or something, and just, you know, I'm just kind of sore on my knee. It's not broken, it's not hurt, and I got thrown off my bike and I'm totally good everywhere else except for my face, just from that blunt force. It's also very important to have an expedition mindset, especially when you're, you know, adventure biking. The goal isn't to ride around as fast as you can and to try to rip off roads and everything. It's to experience places, and on a bike you get to experience it way more. That's what attracted me to bikes originally, was just how much you're in the elements. You're right out there with it. You've got to sweat and move to get up a hill. You've got to work a lot harder to get to the places you're going, but it's a lot funner. To me, anyway, it's just a really great way to ride, but you're much more vulnerable. So you have to consider the fact that you're on an expensive piece of equipment. Try to drive it, and the way I think of it is I try to drive it like I drive the Jeep. I wouldn't have been driving around a muddy trail with potholes and, you know, puddles everywhere at 40 miles an hour in the Jeep. You just would never do that. Because you're just asking to lose control and smash into something, and you've smashed your Jeep. And it should be no different in your mind with a bike. You can it's way easier to ride faster on a bike. It's just way easier to do that, and you have to make sure that you don't, because you have to consider the entire objective. If we had been somewhere very far in the backcountry, this would have been a lot worse. I think I would have been okay. I just wouldn't have been able to get to the hospital as fast as we did. It would have hurt for a lot longer and everything else. But if it had been any worse, I was very lucky how I hit and where I hit and everything for me to only have this injury and not have, like, if I had just hit a rock or something, I could have gone head over heels and broken an arm or leg, and that would just be way worse. And if we were way out there, not only is that bad for your health, it completely stopped our trip. We were out on an epic family trip into the hills, and it was a lot of fun. We had just gotten camp set up, and then we had to pack up and leave that day. So yeah, it's been really good. Definitely wear all of your gear. If I wasn't wearing a helmet, I probably wouldn't. I'd either be dead or severely injured, like really, really badly injured. So it's important to wear your gear, ride at your skill level, and always have a mindset that looks beyond in the moment, having fun on a bike. You gotta look at the big picture, everything that's happening. It's never worth it getting into an accident. So yeah.
Alright guys, thanks for watching this episode, and thank you for all your support and comments in our other video, and make sure to stay tuned for a lot more coming soon.